First of all, I know there's some background noise. I suggest you get a speaker when you watch my videos, which I make these days because my phone has some kind of white noise in the background. Okay? And I'd like to point out that a lot of martial artists are fakes these days. Basically, everyone else is a fake. They've teamed up with political movements, LGBT movements, feminists, corporate, Hollywood, and they've come up with various ways in the IT sector and Hollywood special effects to make their videos seem better. It's very obvious right now, but it's probably going to be more subtle in the future. I don't know. That needs to be said. So this video is about why it is obvious that they have the burden of proof to me and not me. Okay, first of all, perhaps the most obvious reason is the history of the suppression of Igbo martial arts and capoeira, which is covered in this. When the smoke cleared, there's a bunch of capoeiras doing capoeira, capoeistas doing capoeira their way, okay? And basically, there's no Igbo martial arts in the mainstream, okay? How could that be, right? There was capoeira societies, there was also Igbo societies. There was millions of Igbos that came to the Americas through the slave trade. So what happened? Immediately we know something's funny. How can Nigerians, the toughest of all races, the most physically gifted, you know, these guys are the Michael Jordans of the world, they're the Usain Bolt type of people, whether or not he's from there, they're the most populated country in Africa and the most physically and martial art gifted people. So where are their martial arts? Something that was so important to their systems, the leopard societies, the Eku-Meku societies, the various martial arts societies they had there. They're fiercely martial cultures, not just martial art cultures, fiercely. Okay, some of these guys had to cut off people's heads just to be considered a man in their culture. So where are their martial arts? Okay. So when we look at this thing, I stood on my own 10 toes alone. Okay, everyone else is sucking a corporate dick, there's some groupie dick, or there's some crazy motherfucker doesn't know what they're talking about. I've yet to see a single person that has a martial art argument in public that isn't part of a group where I stood on my own 10 toes. Okay. It's apparent that I'm smart and I'm analytical. I'm the son of 2 doctors, one a brain surgeon. Okay, you can tell by this video alone, and I have thousands of videos where even where I'm being filmed and so on and so forth, I'm still making superior life, martial arts, philosophical, spiritual, moral, mental, romantic arguments. Okay. So again, this goes back to Nigeria, where they're the most adverse to homosexuality. That's why it's a joke for them to do things like change my voice, make it seem like I have lipstick on my lips, poison me and change my shape and pretend that I'm gay. Because they did a poll, like 99% of Nigerians were against the homosexuality. Okay, so that was the #1 country in the world opposed to homosexuality. So when they do bitch shit like use tech to change my voice and so on and so forth, trying to make me sound like I have a lisp or a nerd, they do that a lot. Okay. Anyway, there's 20 witnesses to the various sabotage over the years against me. Okay, I had foresight where other people didn't even have insight. I said, they're gonna do these things, then they did it. Okay, I said, look, 2013, I'm this top martial artist. Okay, I'm being persecuted for my views. If you don't think I'm the top martial artist, I challenge you to an outdoor point sparring match, which still to this day known as a viable counter-argument for what is the most effective way to prove this thing. Okay, and here we are, 2020. The challenge is now at $1 million. They let me recover it, pay me compensation. Okay, and I've still won. I beat every challenger and so on and so forth, and they've resorted to cheating and gaslighting. Okay, playing stupid, pretending that Nigerians, are a bunch of fucking Pee Wee Hermans or something, not to be taken seriously. Who's this guy? Oh yeah, just fucking retarded. When one of the UFC champions, at least one of them, I think there's 2 of them, is a Nigerian. Okay, think about it. What are the odds he's Nigerian? Nigerians are like what, 1% of America, if that. Okay, if that. I doubt they're even that. Okay, it's stupid not to see it my way. Okay, so the next point. On record, they were trying to give me psych meds and pretend that I'm crazy. You're a dumbass if you think that I'm fucking out of touch with reality just based on what you heard so far. Okay, I'm more than capable of analyzing things, including myself, in 5,000 videos. Okay, it's very obvious in every one of those videos that I'm being sabotaged and I'm not mentally ill. And then I have one channel where it's even called covertly drugged. Okay, so it's a recall. I'm saying, look, this is what it is. No one has no viable counter-argument. It's 11 years later, not a single viable counter-argument to what's going on in my videos. So they'll probably wait till I'm dead and say, oh, if anything, and say, oh, he was just off his meds or something fucking stupid. Okay. Next point, okay, I have 4 victories, 1 blocking demo. Okay, you can tell in that demo, unless they slow it down, that my blocking skills are superior. No one's trained me in over 20 years. So you can't say, well, this guy stood on his own 10 toes and nobody was his trainer. Okay, the last time I trained martial arts in some dojo or something, which is a different style, that was in like 1997. So by the 2017 point, no one had trained me in 20 years. Okay, and the challenge is still on. Those 4 different terrains, 2 of them were similar, right? Two at grass, 1 kind of tan bark, 1 in the mud. Okay. I have 4,000 to 5,000 videos in 11 years, which shows repetition. If I was lying and saying they're sabotaging me when they weren't, why would I do that? Okay. Why wouldn't I just use that passion to keep training and training harder and keep making videos? If they weren't slowing down my videos, and I had a martial art challenge for 7 years, why wouldn't I just keep working out and running and so on and so forth and striking every day and going out of my way and making more and more demonstrations and then putting them out there and saying, hey, look at this, and making sure it's better than everything else? Why wouldn't I do that? With this kind of Nigerian aggression, why wouldn't I do that? Okay, as a brain surgeon's son, why would I say I'm sabotaged if I wasn't? That by itself is open and shut. The extreme burden of proof by far is on them. Okay. So I'm basically the only one talking about physique and physical, physics, okay? How they connect together, figure it out, okay? Talking about the Greco-Roman art and why they cheat people and stuff like this. No other martial artists talking about this. They're sucking a corporate dick. They didn't transcend the desire to cheat people and to be complicit and to be slack in their work and to be brother to one who destroys. Okay. So, again, these other guys have this kind of Gaia world LGBT spirit. When you're the one nation that's the most opposed to the LGBT spirit, Nigeria, okay, you're from that, you're from the top martial arts line, and these guys, and you've been towing that line the whole time, even calling them names in some of my older channels and older videos, okay, making it clear that I'm against them, and they've been harassing me and provoking me. That's why I called them names, okay. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, that these guys, not only did they not transcend, they're in some kind of gender-neutral checkered floor, yin-yang spirit, they don't have a chance. Okay, Anyway, so they water down the masculine with the feminine on purpose, and they reproduce in that kind of worldly spirit. Jesus, God is the Father, Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a warrior. I'm sure you can figure out the rest for yourself. Anyway, so there's no corporate state backing. The footwork, okay, so I played basketball for many years, for hours a day, before I won the martial art trophy in 1997. Okay, so Bruce Lee basically did basic kind of footwork. My footwork was better than it. My footwork is comparable to a pro basketball player. They do a lot of dribbling. My footwork, I eventually became better than that. So I had the extreme footwork advantage. Okay, skywalking, skylocking, transcending the systems of this world. These other guys are not focusing on footwork enough. Part of it is because they don't have the brain function to move that fast with footwork and strike. Okay, and people who are dancing, they're not. It's not the same thing. It's a repetitive motion. It's like a learned behavior, a trained behavior, versus instinctual combat behavior evolved over many generations. Okay. Okay, so people aren't talking about the mind control and the integrated martial sciences. When you see martial artists just acting like everything's on the up and up and nobody's cheating anybody and there's not mind control operations going on, they're not talking about putting chips in their head. They're not, their transhumanism is not a problem. Performance enhancing drugs is not a problem. Sabotage is not a problem. They pretend there's no political agenda in martial arts. The martial arts aren't celebrities, and like the other Hollywood people, they're outspoken about politics, and they live their life in a way that promotes certain cultures by default, promoting certain politics. They're just fucking liars. They're of this world. They're not real men. They're just puppets. They're just kind of sissy puppets. All right. There's also the cheetah effect, where they can't say, well, we trained them, it was because we were provoking them, da-da-da. Would you say that about cheetah? It's the fastest animal on the ground because scientists were provoking it, okay, or messing with it some way. This guy's the son of 2 doctors from the top martial arts line. Ibo is Obi backwards, Kuro Obi, black belt, okay? The name of the belt comes from the king of the Ibo tribe, okay? Obi. Obi meaning king. Ibo scrambled is Obi. I am the king. I am in Exodus in the Bible. God says to Moses, just tell him I am who I am. And I'm telling you right now, I am who the fuck I am. I'm from the top martial arts line of the entire world, okay, from the Igbo tribe, okay, this Nigerian tribe. My dad's a brain surgeon from the royal family. I outperformed everyone else. My mom's a doctor too, okay. I am who I am. The burden of proof, again, is on them. And they couldn't meet it because I assure you, I'm the top martial artist ever. Okay, so let's look at the other ideas here. I'll overkill and wrap it up. Jock is a play on words for joke, okay? And clown is C-L-O. They're mentally ill, right? These jocks, you see those guys looking like Thanos from some Marvel movie. They have this kind of cartoon, kind of chapstick cop look on their face. They're like, bro, dude. It's like those two mulatto brothers who are Republicans or something, the Hodgkin twins, or whatever they are. Okay, they're like, bro. Those guys have no chance in combat. They're nowhere near serious or graceful enough, and that's the masses of Americans and a lot of the world at this point. Okay. And these guys can only breed guys like that. If their kids come out hella serious, it's some transhumanist bullshit. All right, so the sage, a lot of these guys are like Shaolin monks. These are sages. Okay, the sage is a mage and they deal in magic tricks. A lot of their demonstrations, they're magic tricks. It's like, hey, look at this magician break this pile of bricks, you'll get it right. And when they do, some of these guys that do these American performances, they do these kicks in the air, these taekwondo kicks. It's called tricking because they're magic tricks, and sages, mages, monks came up with them. Okay. Anyone without a serious martial art warrior spirit is hardly competition. Arrogance or a passive spirit like a Buddhist monk is not competition for me, it's competition for a dummy. That's why it's called a Wing Chun dummy. It's for people that move slow, not people who move fast and they do 15 hits from down to one. A boxing range is full extension in 1.4 seconds with sparring gloves on. All right. So the arrogant guys, kind of the governing class, the privileged class, they have no chance. Arrogant bitch, ill-gotten gain spirit, they go into the realm of the dead, Proverbs 1:19. The passive spirit, Hades was called the passive. The sages, they have no chance. Okay? So, and the ghetto brutes and so on and so forth, they're not as intelligent, analytical, sophisticated. They don't have the high cost. When you have the guy from the top martial arts line, the top martial arts of the tribe that ruled over the rest of them, because he's smarter and he has the highest cause and he talks directly to God, these guys who've become kind of African-American ghetto brutes, no offense, have no chance because they're not as smart, they're not as intense, they don't have the highest cause, they don't even know who they are, and if they did, it wouldn't help. All right, thank you.